Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we are rebirthing an old series, and that is mods, tools, and add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So in this video I'll be going through a few mods, tools, and add-ons for both Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So stick around and be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy the content, and let me know which mod or add-on is your favorite down below. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. Alright guys, so a couple of things to throw out there before we get started. Real quick on the Patreon guides, because I haven't updated the intro video. You no longer need a subscription to purchase any of my guides. You can go to the Patreon website, go to the shop, and buy the guides individually, one at a time if you prefer. Just want to toss that out there. Secondly, none of these mods, tools, or add-ons are in any particular order of favorite, best, or otherwise. It is simply an informative video letting you know what's out there. I do the hunting and the searching for mods and tools and add-ons that I think are going to best benefit those on a more average use. And so that's where we're at, hopefully doing the legwork so you guys don't have to. Links to all of these mods, tools, and add-ons will be down in the description below for your convenience. Now, let's get started. So first off, this one really should require no real introduction if you've been watching the channel for any length of time, as we did a review on this last week. This is a fantastic tool called SimTrim. And what it does is exactly what it sounds like. As you can see up at the top of the page there, it labels all or identifies all of the products that are currently plugged into your PC via USB hub or direct, and allows you to bind any access or button to the trim. This is incredibly easy to use and very, very fast to switch. So first off, you got a couple of different features here that I want to be clear. So the green dots that you guys see on the screen there, that identifies what buttons on this particular person's control, in this case the Bravo throttle quadrant, as the trim buttons. So anything that is orange merely means that switch is up or turned on, but the green ones are what are bound to the trim. The next thing it does, it allows you to refine the trim. You put in a decimal number. For example, the recommended start is 0.004. The more, obviously, the larger the number that you put in there, the more trim will be thrown into the simulator when you depress the button or set axis, because you can also use the axis, as you guys can see there on the left. Now, the axis isn't quite as easy to trim as far as tweaking it, and that's just because of the nature of an axis. But what you can do is you can see the slider there on the bottom. The more you move that one direction or the other, the more advanced the axis will be thrown into the simulator, thus again increasing the trim rate. I prefer using the button method because, in my personal opinion, it is much easier to get that finite control. The next thing it does, the final thing it does, that is needing to be highlighted. It does a couple more things than that, but the big thing is the taxi button, as you guys can see there. It allows you to bind an axis to taxiing, meaning that if you don't have rudder pedals, or you don't want to set rudder pedals up, maybe, let's say you have a yoke that's installed in your simulator and you want to be able to use it to taxi, you simply can bind that button or bind that action, turn the yoke, and the aircraft will taxi and turn left and right. Now here's the really cool thing about it. The moment you take off, that connection to the rudder axis, as you guys know, is the nose wheel axis in most aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The moment you leave the ground, that functionality is disabled, so it will no longer put any action on the rudders. Same thing when you come back into land. You go in, your main wheels touch down. The sim knows that. The software knows that, as there is actually a ground mode and a flight mode is what you have to think about from a simulator's perspective. The simulator sort of switches zones, if you will. And so when the aircraft enters the landing zone or the ground zone, that functionality will be restored and you can taxi safely off the runway. So it is a very, very neat tool, very, very powerful, extremely lightweight, and it is free, but do be sure to donate to this project designer, if you guys don't mind. I'm really hoping this particular developer moves into the world of like spad.next or something like that and just throws them for a loop, because clearly he is on the right path to do so. Anyways, so that is SimTrim. Very, very powerful, very, very easy to use. And it's such a simple application that it's just, you would think that something so simple wouldn't be this big a deal, but I promise it super is, especially if you're like me and you're constantly changing hardware out and you don't want to go back into the sim or back into this or back into that to readjust the sim or the trim controls. You simply, boom, set it and off you go. So again, SimTrim, link in the description. All right, next up is a tool for an aircraft that really needs no mention here, but the Inabuild's A350, which is rapidly becoming probably the most popular aircraft in the sim right now when it comes to commercial traffic, as it is extremely feature-rich, high fidelity, and is consistently being updated, as another update has just been released for that aircraft, FYI. So, the Inabuild's A350 web remote, you guys can see here, getting a highlight here of what it does. Obviously, you get the overhead panel, but you can see a bunch of things that are options here, and you have a selector up here, which allows you to swap through it. Now, you can see this is the web remote for the A32NX. This is simply a modeling display here, or a screenshot. This now works for the A350, but this one was taken for the A32NX. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. That means it works for multiple aircraft. Now, why is this significant? Is because it is a web remote. It means that anything with a web service on it can be used with it. Androids, iPhones, tablets, laptops, does not matter, as long as you can access your local web. Basically anything that's on your Wi-Fi network will be able to access this site. So here you can see this is very clearly a cell phone layout. So you could also have multiple devices connected, as it's, again, simply a web server. So you could have one, maybe a iPad or something like that, showing your overhead panel. You could have another one showing your radio or MCDU, whatever it may be, but you could have multiple portable devices, and this is where the power of touchscreens, as I have been a big proponent of for a long time, can save you a lot of money while increasing your immersive experience. For me, the immersive experience is enhanced any time that you are able to step away from mouse and keyboard. I think mouse and keyboard are the two biggest immersion breakers. Now, is it as simple or as the same as touching the real buttons? No. There's always somebody who points out, no, that's not it, that's convenient, it's not immersive enhancing. Yes, it is. I disagree with you. It absolutely is. Again, anything that takes you away from mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard are convenient. But anyways, moving on. So this is a really, really powerful tool, you guys. I have used this multiple times for the A320, especially when I'm doing my guides and things like that. It is a very powerful tool. It makes it really easy to get screenshots and things like that. Obviously, that's for me, in my use case. But for you guys, you're obviously going to have a much better time operating these various aircraft, whether it be the A320 or the A350, using any kind of touchscreen that you have around that has internet access. So again, link to this product will be down in the description. Sticking with the web browser theme for a minute, we have another one called MSFS Glass. Now, this is a tool that I have been using for a minute here ever since it got released, and I absolutely love it. I have been waiting for something like this for quite a while. One of the apps that's unfortunately died a while ago, it seems, where it just doesn't work as well as it used to, that I used to really swear by, was called Mobile Companion app. Now, this is the same developer who must have heard me crying, who must have heard me begging and pleading at the bottom of my heart for him to come back to me. And yes, I'm getting that dramatic on purpose, because we finally have a new and refreshed version of it, and he's calling it MSFS Glass. Now, this tool, again, was extremely powerful. I love this. And again, it is an application that you install directly on the PC. No installation on your mobile device required. It uses a web browser. But you obviously get a full-fledged map. You can see route tracking available. It also controls many of your in-aircraft primary features. Most autopilot functionalities, radios, comms, lights, simulator rate, so the speed at which the sim is operating. So if you want to speed things up while you're in your cruise flight, I used to use this tool religiously on just about every single flight I ever did, and I'm so happy to see that it is back, and I'm so happy to see that he heard me crying. He probably found out that I had to get therapy because the other one stopped working as well, and he probably felt bad for me. So really, you could probably thank me, because I'm probably the reason why this happened. I'm just kidding. But you guys can see down here, take a look at a bunch of the things that you have available to you just in the flight planning or FMC panel. You have an FS section up here, a nav, a comm, FMC, different various panels. Guys, I promise you will love this tool. Here's our autopilot that we were talking about a moment ago. Again, fantastic. You have the G3000 specifically labeled here. That's another big kicker. The G3000 is a great one to be able to control but via any touchscreen. So again, the beautiful part about this one is it is not aircraft specific. Now keep in mind, when it does come to things like this, if an aircraft developer has done anything funky on the back end, if you will, or any like deep customization of any particular system, it may or may not function. But for the most part, I have never ran into any issue using this app. I love it. I absolutely love this app. I was so happy to see that this thing was back. Again, that is MSFS Glass. A link to this will be down in the description below. You guys, please donate to this developer. I am definitely going to be doing so now that I have tested it, vetted it, and I can tell you it is kicking ass. Next up on the list is a tool that probably needs very little mention to most, but just in case you're new to flight simulation and you like the idea of popping out your panels, as you can see here in this display, to multiple other displays, this is Pop Out Panel Manager. Now, what does this allow you to do? If you've ever popped out a panel in Microsoft Flight Simulator, tried to put it on another display, and just couldn't ever get things to line up quite right, or, for example, couldn't get your touch screen inputs to work, this panel solves it all. So, essentially what this does is obviously does far more than just allowing you to pop out different panels. It also remembers each individual aircraft panel location. Now, Microsoft Flight Simulator has implemented that already, so for the most part, that particular portion has been resolved. But here's where the game ends for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Pop-out Panel Manager allows you to very fine-tunely, as you guys can see right here in this window, tweak the Windows positions. So you can tweak them both in their actual position as well as stretching them both horizontally and vertically. The other big thing it allows you to do is it allows the simulator to remain focused. So if you happen to click into one of those screens, in most scenarios, what would have happened before is that the sim would actually lose focus. So any kind of other control input into the cockpit may or may not respond. MSFS Pop-Out Panel Manager resolves that issue as well. As soon as whatever touch or action you did on that particular window is completed, the service automatically restores Microsoft Flight Simulator as the focused application in Windows, keeping all of your control inputs active and functioning inside of the sim. Next thing it allows you to do is it allows you to enable touchscreen support. As you guys know, Microsoft Flight Simulator, even in 2024, which again blows me away that this is not an officially supported feature yet, given how long touchscreens have been around, the fact that new aircraft are in the real world are developed with touchscreens, and that Microsoft Flight Simulator is modeling touchscreen use aircraft. In-house that touchscreen is not available. It just shocks the crap out of me. Anyway, I digress. Had a counseling moment right there. Thank you for the therapy. Let me know what the bill is. But what this does allow you to do is enable touchscreen support. It allows you to identify a particular screen as a touchscreen. Now, obviously, if you haven't already, you do need to make sure that you do that in Windows as well. But that's just the nature of setting up any touchscreen within Windows. You do have to identify it as a touchscreen or it won't function at all. But that's outside of, that has nothing to do with the sim. That's just a requirement for having a touchscreen attached to Windows. So, highlight. It will pop out the panels for you automatically once you've designated particular zones. It will save that particular configuration based on the aircraft. It will tell you which aircraft is automatically selected. It will also allow you to switch very easily between aircraft. You don't have to do anything. It will update automatically. It will enable touchscreen support, which is not natively supported in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It will maintain the focus of the simulator when that touchscreen or any other monitor is selected once the use case is completed. And it allows you to fine-tune the positioning and sizing of these particular windows to your liking. And final thing is it will allow you to remove the title bars, the title windows up at the top of the screens. You can simply select, hide the title bar, and these windows, the white boxes, will go away, and you can have a genuine, full-fledged full screen. So, very, very powerful tool, you guys. Extremely handy. If you have not gotten into the era of messing around with touchscreens, I highly recommend you do, especially if you were limited on space and tools. First off, touchscreen monitors have gotten extremely cheap. They have dropped in price significantly from when they were first brought to the market. You can pick up a 15 or 16 inch touchscreen portable monitor that can be easily picked up and put away on Amazon for right around $120. You can also pick up portable monitors for, if you don't want the touchscreen and you just want the screen, you can pick up portable monitors that are just USB plug-in for anywhere from $50 to $90 depending on which route you go, and obviously size is going to be a factor in there. But I highly recommend you guys start looking at portable monitors and portable touchscreen monitors. They're just not the cost that they used to be anymore, and they are a gold mine when it comes to flight simulation. Then another product that we will be taking a much larger review and look at is Air Manager. I have played around with Air Manager before, but it is recently updated to a much better version, a much easier to I should say much more user-friendly environment that we'll be taking a look at there as well, where again portable screens and touch screens will definitely play a huge part in their functionality. So stay tuned for a video on that later next week. But so again, this one is going to be the end of the show for us today, you guys. Pop-Out Panel Manager is absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys check these out. Again, links to all of these mods and add-ons will be down in the description below, and we're going to be bringing this series back. I'm going to try to do one of these videos at least a week. Obviously, it takes a minute to be able to vet them and actually test them out and see what their functionality is like. There's a few more already on the list. I've got 7 more over the next few days that I want to test out and check out, so be watching for another video with mods, tools, and add-ons. And again, if you guys did enjoy this, please be sure to like and subscribe, as it does help out the channel. And as always, folks, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one.